Flareside project. I guess that's what I'll call it. For those of you that have been following this channel, you've seen a little bit on the Flareside, and I've shown it recently on what happened to the front end of it, which I'll show here in a minute. But just a brief history on this truck. I bought it about a year ago, and it was a one-owner truck, pretty much. A guy owned it all of its life, and then he gave it to his, I believe it was his nephew, so to help him move. And he owned it for a couple of weeks, and then he put it up for sale, and I bought it off of him. And I've had it for about a year and haven't really done a lot to it. When I first got it, I replaced the leaf springs, the rear fuel tank. I installed manual locking front hubs. I fixed the 4x4 switch. And that's really all I've done to it. It did have an idling issue shortly after I got it, and I removed the upper intake plenum, and I ended up painting that all up and making it look pretty. I put a new idle control sensor, I think that's what it's called, something like that, you know what I'm talking about. And that didn't make any difference. I cleaned out everything I could think of and couldn't find any vacuum leaks. And finally, the screw that is set up underneath there, if you know what I'm talking about, it's in one of my past videos. And it's a screw, they tell you, don't ever touch this screw. Well, it looked like it had been turned to me. So I turned it a little bit, and I got the idle to where it should be, and I haven't had a problem since. So I drove it pretty much almost every day through the winter. Not a lot, just taking my daughter back and forth to school. Haven't had any problems. Four-wheel drive works flawlessly, and it's a good running truck. It has 160, I always think it's 166, but I think it might be 164. I can't remember. 1,000 miles on it. Let's say 165,000 miles on it. It has a 302 engine, push-button four-wheel drive. Like I said, I put the manual locking hubs on it, which I like better than the automatics. The automatics got so they'd be clicking, kind of like a ratcheting sound, and they aren't known for lasting a long time. I'm surprised they were still on the truck when I got it. The ones on my green truck went bad a long time ago, and I replaced them with manual locking hubs. I prefer the manual locking hubs myself, just because you know they're engaged or disengaged. With the automatics, when they start acting up, you don't know what's going on for sure. So without getting on too much of a tangent here, I bought the truck originally with the intention of flipping it. The whole purpose of buying this truck was to buy it, fix it up, and flip it. And I bought it I believe last September. Then in December, I lost my job. And then at that time, I wasn't sure what I was going to do. Then I got sick in January and February, like really sick. And I got started back into making videos more and more, and here we are. I've decided that I'm going to fix this truck up. If you have watched my previous videos, you've seen what needs done. I've explained it a little bit, but I'll show you real quick what I'm going to be doing. First off, I really need to get a new camera with a wider lens or something on it. I just can't zoom out far enough on this darn thing, so I may just have to break down and do that. With that being said, as you can tell, the front fenders, the other side's about like this side. They need replaced. The hood over here got backed into by our chemical truck. Not a lot of damage. It dented the hood, dented the fender, broke this light out, tweaked the bumper. Not anything real serious. I have to get this light yet, which I'll probably pull from a salvage yard. But I got a hood and fenders. The doors are actually okay. Turn this light a little bit. I got new cab corners. The box sides on these are fiberglass, so of course they don't rust. Tailgate's in good shape. Just needs touched up here, and it needs not touched up, it needs sanded down and repainted. And this side's pretty much like that side, although it's got this step on it still, which I'm going to be taking off. But front fenders, cab corners, and the hood. I've got a hood back here that I pulled off of I can't remember what year it was now. It doesn't really matter. It's in a previous video as well, when I went down to the salvage yard and pulled that. And the two front fenders, which are in a recent video unboxing of those, they're aftermarket fenders. I've heard good and bad things about them. We'll see how it all pans out in the end. Hopefully they fit up good and everything works out. Cab corners are here. Plenty of welding gas and everything else that I need. So I think I'm good to get started on this. And that is pretty much what I have to do. I'm probably going to be pulling the bed off of it so I can get to the back of the cab for painting, and also make replacing the cab corners a hell of a lot easier. When I get all done, this truck's going to be for sale. At least that is the thought process right now. So just a quick little video showing you what's going on, what I'm starting to do, getting set up to do here. Yesterday I washed it off with Dawn dish soap, get all the wax and stuff off of it, best I could anyway. And I swapped places. I put my green truck over in my old shop, and this one's taken its place for just a little while. So I think it's going to be a fun little project to do. Should be able to show a lot of things that I didn't get shown when I did my green truck. I'm going to do a better job on this truck showing what I do, how I do it. Is it right or wrong? Who knows? You ask 10 people how to do something body work wise, and you're probably going to get 10 different answers. So the way I do it may not be the way everybody agrees with. I think it'll be a fun project to do, and should have some good videos coming up. If there's anything that you really want to see, post it in the comments down below, and I will try to make it a point to emphasize that. And I'm going to try not to just gloss over anything, but if there's something you are really interested in, I'll try to make that stand out. And as far as the interior on this truck, which I don't know how good you're going to be able to see, it's dark out right now. I've got this light set up behind me, but not real good. But it's in pretty darn good shape. Except the door buzzer will not go off like if you remove the key, because the key is removed unless I push the door thingamajig. So excuse that. But really, I mean, the seats are in pretty good shape. The back seat's in real good shape. It's just those are those inserts off of those steps that if anybody wants to buy those, let me know. I had them sold for, I don't even remember, I think $50. I think it was $50. I don't know. Maybe an offer on them if you need them. The interior is really in good shape. So anyway, I'll get out of here. That dinging is going to drive everybody nuts. It's a pretty good truck. Once I get it all fixed up, who knows, I may decide to keep it. I have a Tahoe sitting up in the garage, 99 Tahoe, that has more miles on it, and once I get this fixed up, I may just decide I want to keep it. I don't know. It's either that or I'm going to sell it. One of them is getting sold. That is the Flareside, and I'm going to get started on it. I don't know if I'm going to get started on it yet tonight, but tomorrow for sure. First thing I'm probably going to do is be pulling off the grill and all this front end stuff and pulling the front fenders and hood off of it. And then I need to get the bed off of it. But I think I might do the front fenders and hood, get them pulled off, and then paint the inside of those and get them mounted on the truck so they're all set in place. And then I may pull the bed off and do the cab corners. And I may take my needle scaler like I did on my green truck to the frame. I don't know. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with that. Anyway, that is the Flareside, and that is the project that I am doing next. Keep watching, tell your friends, and subscribe. Also, one last thing. The license plate wall. Let me get my light turned around. The license plate wall, which is up there and then also down here. I can't remember what year that one's from. It's like I can't remember, 1920 or something like that. It's an old one. 49, 74. In one of my previous videos, I mentioned that I wanted to set up a P.O. box, and if anybody wanted to send me license plates, I was wanting to make a whole wall of license plates. It might take that flag down and move things around a little bit if needed. And I just think that'd be something kind of cool to do. I haven't got the P.O. box set up yet. Actually, it might be a UPS box when I get, that's really bright. Actually, it might be a UPS box when I get it set up. I've contacted him and talked to him about it, and I think I'm going to do it. I just haven't done it yet. It's about 30 miles away from where I live because I live out in the middle of a cornfield. It's coming, and I'd like to do something like that. Or anything else that you want to send me would be fine. Anyway, stay tuned. The Flareside is going to be going under the knife here shortly, and good videos will be coming. Please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.